Week 2 of the fantasy baseball season. Here's a few pitchers I would look to drop this week. So I know it's early in the season here, but so far these pitchers, they haven't gone out there and done anything, and they've hurt fantasy teams, or they're injured. The first guy, Aaron Savall, of the Cleveland Guardians. So Savall last season, he was a middle of the pack fantasy pitcher, but so far in the first couple starts of the season, he hasn't looked good at all. Is Savall 7 in the third, 8 hits allowed, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, and 8 strikeouts in the first few games. And right here, this Guardian team, in my opinion, they're probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league this season when it's all said and done. So the first couple outings here for Zaval, April 11th at Kansas City, only 3 in the third, 4 hits, 2 earned runs in that ball game, 3 walks, 3 Ks. And then April 17th versus San Francisco, 4 innings, got the loss, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 5 strikeouts. So right here, those outings have been horrible, no doubt about it. And he's been dropped in 7% of fantasy leagues. And his next matchup is this week at the New York Yankees. Another tough matchup of all. And a lot of things just not going his way. The first 2 outings, he didn't pitch well. And now with a tough one versus the Yankees and the struggles, he's definitely a pitcher I think I would drop this week. The second guy's Matt Barnes of the Boston Red Sox. So Matt Barnes, so far, it's been a slow start for the Boston closer here. And so far in the season, he just hasn't done much as well. 2 hits, 3 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and no saves under his belt. So the last couple outings here for Barnes, April 13th at Detroit, he went a clean inning with his strikeout. And then April 15th versus the Minnesota Twins, a bad outing it was for him. 1 inning in that one, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 2 walks. So right here, there's a lot of decent closes that I've mentioned to pick up. So if you didn't see pitches to add on the waiver wire, go check that out, because there's been a lot of closes that have merged over the first week and a half of the season here. And right now, Barnes, he's not getting anything done for this Red Sox team, even though I know this Red Sox team, they haven't been in a lot of save situation type of games in the first 10 games of the season here. But right now, he's another pitcher that's been dropped in 4% of fantasy leagues. And like I mentioned, there's a lot of options out there on the waiver wire available at the closer position. I would rather have than Matt Barnes right now, so I would drop him this week. The next pitcher is Lance McCullers of the Houston Astros. So McCullers, when he plays, we know he's a great pitcher. But right now, he's got transferred to the 60-day DL with a flexor strain in his pitching arm is McCullers. So I don't know when we're going to see him this season. 60 days takes us already to early June, mid-June. If he's ready by then, is McCullers. And he's a great talent, no doubt about it. But early in the season here, with a lot of injuries already, we've seen guys go on the 10-day DL. And now here, with McCullers banged up, I think I would drop him if I don't have the roster space to keep him on my team. I know he's on a good team like the Houston Astros. We know he's been a good pitcher, no doubt about it, over the last few seasons is McCullers, but injuries have definitely been a concern. And once again here, he's hurt for the Astros. So if you don't have enough IL spots on your fantasy roster, I would drop him, because like I mentioned, he's going to miss at least another month, a month and a half easily here is Lance McCullers at best. So right now, if there's better options on your wire, or if you're in a shallow league, I would drop McCullers this week. The next guy is Zach Eflin of the Philadelphia Phillies. So the Phillies so far, they've got off to a very slow start in the first few weeks of the season. Their pitching's been a train wreck, and their hitting with all those big hitters just haven't got going. But I think that'll change for the hitting part of things. Too many talented and big power hitters in this Philly lineup not to get going. So on the season here for Zach Eflin, in 2 starts so far, 8 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. And that's just not going to get the job done. We know Eflin isn't the hardest to throw is, and we know he's a guy that's been hit or miss over the last few seasons. April 11th versus Oakland, 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks. And then April 15th at the Miami Marlins, 4 innings with a loss, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. So right here, he's been dropped in 5% of fantasy leagues, and he's got a tough matchup April 20th at the Colorado Rockies, that we know they're off to a hot start, surprisingly, is this Rocky team. And they've changed things around a little in the offseason, but it's worked so far. I know it's only about 10 games into the year, but pitching at Coors Field, no matter what's tough for a pitcher. And like I mentioned, Eflin's only a 5'6" pitching inning pitcher at best here for this Philadelphia Philly team. So right now with the struggles, with the Phillies not hitting as well, and a tough matchup with the Rockies with better options out there, I would drop Eflin. And if he gets hot again, which is definitely a possibility, you go out there and pick him back up. And the fifth and final pitcher I would drop this week here is John Means of the Baltimore Orioles. So John Means, he got put on the 60-day DL as well with an elbow strain here. And this Baltimore team, they're going to be one of the worst teams as well this season. And there's even reports saying over the next few months, we'll see if Means could even be 100% and return the season. He's already been dropped in 16% of fantasy leagues. First two outings of the season for Means, 8 innings combined, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. April 8th at Tampa, 4 innings, 6 hits, an earned run, a walk, 5 Ks. And then April 13th versus Milwaukee, 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. So right here, that's just not getting the job done for John Means and this Baltimore Oriole team. And right here, he's a guy I would shy away from, obviously. He's on a bad team. The injury sounds pretty serious, so ready to rule him out this long day DL. And I would just get rid of him if I don't have the IL spot. Same situation with McCullers, but if I had to keep one of them, McCullers I'd rather have than John Means, just the team he's on and just how quicker, who could come back faster. So that's a few pitches I would drop here for week 2 of the fantasy baseball season.